snow. I don't need to push it that extra distance and take that extra risk because the reward for that isn't worth that extra risk. And so that's what I thought helped to make that. There are a lot, yeah, over the years. I remember a line that I'll still never forget, and partly because I was so inexperienced at the time, but on my very first trip to the French Alps, we were skiing outside of Chamonix, and we were staying at this tiny little unguarded hut that we didn't plan to be in, but due to a variety of circumstances, we found ourselves in this hut. We went out the next morning, there was all sorts of new snow, and we climbed up to the very top of this bowl, and we're in this giant alpine bowl at the very top of this thing. It's completely untracked with about 1.5 feet anew, and it's bigger terrain than I've had skied up until that time. And there's nobody around for miles, and it's this huge untracked bowl. And I'll never forget that feeling of, here we go, we're doing this. And just dropping in, and I have to admit back then there was a huge element of, I sure hope this works out okay. I didn't go through any real process to say this is going to be safe and it's going to be fine. It was a very emotionally driven decision, and it did work out fine, and it still stands out.
Alrighty then. This is actually
hardest thing for people to recognize is that more often than not, it seems like in our culture we put a big emphasis on our ability to do an activity like skiing or snowboarding, and we practice lots. We go to ski areas and we become really good at skiing and snowboarding, and there's less emphasis on the educational component and those as far as the skill set needed to make good choices and to learn how to identify and recognize what is avalanche terrain and how to avoid it, or how to, or when it's okay to be in avalanche terrain. And I think there's a disconnect in our culture that, just because somebody can ski really well, then they automatically know a lot about snow. And so what I like to see and what I appreciate about the educational component is that people are psyched to learn and they're willing to learn, and it's just refreshing when people keep those two different skills in check.